Fiji's only private television company has been found guilty of broadcasting hate speech after it aired comments by a tribal chief. Ratu Timothy Vesikola was broadcast on Fiji TV criticising government policy to integrate the country's two major ethnic communities. The Pacific's Media Industry Development Authority, or MIDA, which made the ruling after a complaint from the government, says that Chief Vesikola said you can't mix water with kerosene. The authority also warned that political discourse had descended to unabashed racial vilification. It's demanding all speeches given at political rallies be transcribed and given to the elections media monitoring unit. And also that all freelance journalists register and declare who they publish for. Joining us now from Fiji is freelance journalist Samisoni Pereti. Samisoni, thanks for joining us. How is the ruling being interpreted? Clamping down on racism or restricting free speech?
Well, that's what the jury is still out for. And earlier today, the Fiji Media Industry Development Authority has ruled on that to say that the comments of the chief of Tailevu, Ratu Timothy Vesikola, was indeed hate speech, and for that, the government will have to decide whether they're going to pursue criminal charges against him.
The decision was made without a hearing. Fiji TV now faces a huge fine. The tribal chief himself could face 10 years in jail. Is MIDA making an example of Ratu Timothy Vesikola?
Well, there's some unanswered questions there, because this is, as you said, a test case of sorts. It's the first time that such a case has been brought to the attention of MIDA, the Fiji Media Industry Development Authority. So whether MIDA has that power to prosecute as well as judge on whether this is hate speech or not, that is still to be decided and unknown for. A lot of grey areas there. A casual reading of the media decree, which they are basing their decision from, seems to suggest that the MIDA can only be the prosecutor. They have to form a tribunal, a media tribunal, presided by someone who can be a judge, to hear and then make the decision on whether to penalise Fiji television or not.
On the free speech question, the statement was allegedly made by a chief, but now the authority says all freelance journalists must register with MIDA. As a freelance journalist yourself, what does this mean for you, do you think?
Yes, again, there's another grey area. The media decree here in Fiji seems to say that, yes, all freelance journalists need to register. The particular provision says that all media organizations need to register with MIDA. But then when you go into the interpretation of the definition of media organization, that media organization can mean one person. So that seems to rope in freelance journalists. But then another grey area is where the freelance journalists like myself who work for external media organizations like the ABC and Radio Australia, whether they too are included in that definition. Again, that is for lawyers to sort out.
Samisoni, good to hear from you, and we hope to hear from you again on the ABC. Samisoni Pereti in Suva.